For now, the transition area in the high parking lot becomes the center of everyone's attention. When triathlons first began, transition areas were places of careful preparation for the next event. The triathletes took time to shower and to change clothes. No longer. Brooks Clark may struggle a bit with his wetsuit, but he'll add nothing to his uniform except a helmet and a pair of cycling shoes, which are already secured to his pedals. All you add is feet. Clark hops on his bike and heads out. Knackle, who swam without a wetsuit, shoots into the lead. The rubber giveth, and the rubber taketh away. Close behind, Alan, in the white helmet, is in the hunt too. If anything, he's gained a few seconds. As he pedals off, the transition area behind him begins to fill with the frantic energy of triathletes with too much to do and too little time in which to do it. The trick is concentration and control under pressure. Some handle it well, some don't. Scott Tinley is one of the best transition artists in the business, although he's had his own problems at times. In one race in 1985, he racked his bike and inadvertently covered his shoes with his rear wheel. He lost 20 seconds looking for them and lost the race to Scott Molina by 20 seconds. There's never a very large margin for error. Mike Pigg arrives and fights his own battle with the suit. His ankles, like those of the other competitors, are coated with Vaseline, so the rubber slides off his wet skin easily. He takes a moment to clip his helmet, another moment to set his foot in his shoe. Then he's on his bike and away, rising out of his seat in his eagerness to be gone, in search of Mark Allen, and he hopes in search of a national championship.
Hi everybody, Ross here for episode 12 of the Streak podcast. That was a clip from the 1987 USTS Championship in Hilton Head, South Carolina in the USA, highlighting the importance of transitions. I love transitions and absolutely try to minimize the time spent there, although I don't do the shoes in the pedals thing anymore. And for Olympic distance and above, I always put socks on to run. Recently, I bought my first pair of running shoes in maybe 4 years, the Asics Evo Ride 3. They're great. Cushioned, yes, but more importantly, light, as I miss the old super light racing flats of the 1980s. Like the Reebok London, as worn by Steve Jones when he broke the marathon world record at the 1984 Chicago Marathon.
I think he's got it. He's got it. He's got the world.
He's got a chance to do it. He's going to do it. He's going to get a world record. Steve Jones, Barry Wales, a new world record.
You got it.
Fantastic. Steve Jones, 2:08:06, 7 seconds.
And look at him. He is ecstatic.
Unbelievable.
He is
Steve
ecstatic.
Jones, unbelievable.
Oh,
God, well,
and he's still jogging around in there in the shoots.
What a performance. What a performance.
And the Nike Air Mariah, as worn by Glenn Cook in Avignon in 1989.
Glenn Cook, deuxième. Follement heureux, félicité par Mark Allen.
I've put some magazine ads for both shoes in the show notes. To make my Asics Evo Ride 3s even better for triathlon, I put on one of my pairs of Tinley lace locks. Photos also in the show notes. Maybe pause this and go there now. thestreakpodcast.com/podcast/12. I got my first pair of Tinley lace locks from Total Fitness in Swindon at the end of 1988. I probably had them until the plastic wore out. Now I've got 2 pairs. A yellow pair was a present from my brother a few years ago, and some orange ones that I bought on eBay recently. Having these dangling from your Londons or Mariahs in the 1980s would certainly distinguish you as a triathlete with some class. Scott Tinley started Tinley Performance Wear with Jim Riley and 2 other partners in 1984. This was 6 months after the closing of Team J. David. I can't go into the whole J. David thing here, but it's definitely a story for another day. Riley already owned a clothing company, Perfection, and Tinley had just quit his job marketing and distributing sports shoes with Seoul International. With this skill set combo, the company did well. They made racewear, casual stuff, and eventually wetsuits. Every triathlete from San Diego to Slough via Swindon owned something from the collection. I definitely had a vest and maybe some running shorts. My brother still has a cap. In the show notes you can see a photo of the classic Tinley look from 1987. White cropped vest with solid coloured sidebars and a patterned chest bar, paired with wide side trunks, patterned the same as the vest. Scott also has 2 sew-on sponsor patches for Rally and Bud Light. I was a big sew-on patch fan, something else I need to bring back to triathlon. Part of Tinley Performance Wear's marketing tactics involved erecting a huge inflatable Scott at races. See one in the show notes, from the 1991 Hawaii Ironman. The company was sold to Reebok in 1992. Again, the show notes for this shorter episode are at thestreakpodcast.com/podcast/12. And as always, if you've got a question, a correction, some extra historical information, or just want to say hi, you can email me at thestreakpodcast@gmail.com. I'll leave you with another transition clip, this time from the 1988 USTS Chicago Triathlon. I'll link to the full video in the show notes.
Pig rushes in and changes. He's done what he set out to do. His big lead, coming off the bike, will hold the stronger runners at bay. At least he hopes it does. Next, Robinson, a minute and a half back. It's too much time, and he knows it. Still, it's hot and humid, and anything can happen. Pig is human. That was obvious in Miami, and Robinson, who ran track for Cornell University, has run a sub-31-minute 10K, so he's got plenty of speed. Third off the bike is Mackel, and the best of his show is over. At 190 pounds, he's at a distinct disadvantage in a hot short race like this, where raw speed can mean so much. He's made a lot of progress over the past year, but Mackel is no fool. Pig and Robinson are gone for good. His job now is to limit his losses over the next 6.2 miles. Sixth in is the Australian, Stephen Foster. Word of his potential in this race had been spreading in whispers for days. Watch him, they say. Good runner, they say. But 2.5 minutes down is a lot of time.